Where are we?
I see it. Mine says live on Facebook.
Okay. Why is it not playing? Okay, here we go. I'm not moving. I see you.
I see you.
Okay. All righty, okay, I know because we need to be on Zoom. That's why I was on Facebook. All right, here we are live on Facebook. I'm still new at these Facebook Live Zoom meetings, so. Uh-oh, we're double playing. Let me turn off my Facebook post. I see you. Okay, all right. Okay, I'll figure it out one of these days. All right, here we are with Marybeth Vieira. And I'm going to let her share, but she's a dear friend and a fellow practitioner. And, you know, I get attached to people I see and then train and spend time with. And so I love her and her family dearly. And I just invited her on today to share a little bit about her experience with the integrated life process, the training, and then her private practice.
Awesome. So when I first talked to Robin over the phone, 5 years ago, I think, I was talking to her. It was a referral from a friend. I really had no idea what she did. But I was in a very low place, was very, very sick. But the reason I actually had no idea that Robin could help me get better at the time. I just knew I had some junk from my past. I had a very dark past. I had grown up in a religious cult and I had nightmares, reoccurring nightmares, and I'd had them for years. And so my first session with Robin, you know, she muscle tested me, you know, I went through, just followed her through the process. I was the skeptic of skeptics. I was just kind of desperate and like, well, I'll try it, you know. So within 1 week, I had my reoccurring dream again, except it had changed. And it had changed, it hadn't changed like a ton. It was still the same dream, but it had changed a little. It had shifted, and I didn't feel quite as trapped as I had. I didn't feel quite the same level of darkness as I had before. And I thought, wow, this is kind of crazy because this is a dream. This isn't like something I could psych myself into using my conscious mind. Like, this is a dream. I have no control over it. And even my reoccurring nightmare changed. And so I continued working with Robin because I thought, wow, maybe this really could make a difference in my life. And not only did it make a dramatic difference in my own life and my personal health and wellness, recovering from 5 immune diseases, transforming my life and my marriage, helping me be set free in ways I had never dreamed possible. Then I took her training and I got to start doing the same thing and helping my clients the way that Robin had helped me. And I can't really express to you how much it has been a dream come true for me. How much I've been able to just walking through that process with my clients, through the messy stuff, through helping them change their beliefs. It's so rewarding. And it was hard for me initially. I'm just going to share this, Robin. I hope you're good. But it was hard for me initially to like really believe that with the certification that I could actually start my own business and be successful at it. But I have. And I didn't, you know, going into the training, I thought, you know, for the initial investment, it's really not much. For most certification processes, because I've looked at a lot of different ones because I was in alternative healthcare. So for Robin's process, I just didn't really know what to expect. And then I went and did the training and I was super impressed by how comprehensive it was. I was very impressed by the science behind it. As a person who's really analytical, like I told you, I was skeptical from the beginning. Like I wanted to know it was legit, you know? So I did the training. There was a lot there. There was so much there, but she gave us really, really quality homework. So we're actually able to learn and absorb the information. Another thing that I love about being an integrated life process practitioner is we get updates all the time. Like Robin is learning new stuff, and everything that she learns, she passes on to us so that we're able to continue and keep using the stuff that we've learned. And I do my own research, but I'm able to glean so much from Robin just month to month. And I'm able to help my clients better and better and better as I continue as a practitioner. So I absolutely love my job. I feel like I tell people all the time, I have the best job ever. And I love, being able to do something with my clients that works, seeing it actually impact their lives in an effectual way. And I have entrepreneurs and people in my city that now tell people about me because after working with me, even like one just a couple of months worked with me, and she's going around telling everybody that it actually changed how she thought. She's attracting a whole different level of clients. They invited me to speak at one of their business organizational, luncheons. And so it's opened a lot of doors for me to share my story and to help share all the things that Robin has taught me with a wider audience, and kind of to connect my own story with what Robin teaches and what she's researched and practiced. So
thank you.
That's my bridge.
Thank you. One of the things about Marybeth that I appreciated from day one, when somebody has a chronic illness and is suffering, there you just get to a point of desperation where there's people who will, and this, they'll come see you and they'll pay you and they'll do the session, but they don't really drink the Kool-Aid. They kind of maybe keep coming back, but they and then but the people who apply it, they go home, they do all the prayers, they do the homework, they do they grasp it and they do it, and then you see their lives really transform and they get it, and so I can tell the difference. And everything with energy shifts slowly. We don't shift overnight, but those people, when there's that desperation, you do see, more quickly, more fruit, more results. But then there's the longer term shift where life just looks completely different over a period of time. And that's what I love about this. I did healing and deliverance for years, and I'm a big proponent and fan of it. But sometimes there was a little bit of hype around it, like, oh, I feel great, I feel amazing. And then I would see their lives kind of fall back into the same whatever. And so what I love about quantum shifting is that your life really shifts. Obviously we have confidentiality issues, but share like just one example without naming names of a story that just really, really touched you, where you saw somebody's life really, really change.
Well, the one that comes to mind, honestly, I feel like it's little, but it's big, and it's a recent one. And I asked the client if it was a story I could share. So I feel good about sharing it. And it seemed kind of simple at first because I don't even remember what was happening. And this client says, well, people don't listen to what I have to say. And I really want to impact people. I really want to change their lives, but they just don't listen to me. And so I said to him, so you have a belief that people don't listen to you? And he replied in a way that I hear all the time. He said, no, actually, people don't listen to me. And I love how that's just an illustration of how our beliefs are facts in our mind. It's like, no, it actually is that way. It's not that I believe it. It actually is. I'm like, well, it's the same thing. But the plus side,
reciprocal relationship.
do something.
Hold on, you froze.
Yeah, do think about this. So we did massaging. Uh-oh. Am I there now?
I think so.
Okay. So there was a trauma root at age 7 whenever he was giving a speech in his class. And he had barely started and the bell rang and everybody just walked out.
Wow.
And his teacher didn't make them stay. It was just like nobody cared about what he had to say.
Boy, that's so classic. That's
right. It's such a classic story. So we went through the beliefs and releasing the trauma and the emotions attached. We reprogrammed that, that people want to listen to what he has to say and he has good things to share. So he texted me within a week that he had been in a meeting, and I think it was like a group kind of thing. And he had shared, and he could tell it really made an impact to people, and they were listening and like asking him questions and interacting. And it was just a huge, to me as a practitioner, that's like, yes, that's exactly why I do what I do. That's what I want to hear. And that it's because it really causes change to happen. It really works. And, I love that but that happens a lot too. Yes. It happens a lot, but that's a one kind of simple story that's the margins are really clear on. There's not a bunch of messy stuff a bunch of things you need to know. It's a really simple illustration of how this process works. And it really does work.
And, in pointing out in that too, what people don't understand is that was not a trauma. Like nobody hit him.
Right.
He didn't fall. Nobody beat him. It just was a situation, an event that occurred naturally in the world of events. And it impacted him as such an abandonment and rejection, And so it's really about the lens that we see things through within the meaning we give it, even to everyday life, not the necessary. And that's why, with talk therapy, we can remember the really traumatic, painful things because they stand out, but we don't remember getting the 70 in 4th grade in math and going, I must be stupid at math, and believing the rest of my life I'm dumb at math. Those were everyday events, and we didn't give them credit for these deep, beliefs that we hold. And yet that's so much of how we live our life is
I feel that one of the issues is this kind of the childhood programming that happens when we create internal truths based on external information. Right. And so something happens outside of me, I take it in and I create this truth or this belief inside of me. And then I just carry that with me forever.
Right. Quantum physics says that has a frequency, that has a vibration, it's magnetic in nature, and it keeps attracting reinforcement. So, that's a great story.
I love it. Yeah.
So if people want to work with you, how do they get a hold of you?
Well, you can reach me on Facebook through Akarah Life Practice.
Can you spell that? I know it's in the thing.
Yeah, that's okay. It's Akarah. It's a Hebrew word.
What does that mean?
It's a Hebrew word. Honestly, it's a little, the meaning is a little complex. What it means for me is transformation. It's used in the Hebrew scriptures whenever a woman is spoken of that is barren, except it's one that is barren then becomes not barren.
Nice.
So it's only used, so this is our Isaiah 54 woman when it says sing, O barren one. Right. It's that word is used, but it's only used for very specific people like Rebecca, the Jewish people in this particular, in Isaiah 54, Hannah, Samuel's mother. It was only used not for women that were barren and stayed that way, but only for women that were barren, but then became not. And so there's a prophetic edge to this word that is talking about, yes, I see you where you are right now, but I also see where you're going. And that is why I named my practice that, because that's my calling and gifting is, yes, I see you where you are, but I also see where you're going, and where you're going is that's your real story. That's what's really important.
Well,
Because right now we're in the backstory. The hero story is coming.
What's interesting about that is, you know, we talk about the fact that we weren't made broken. We were made perfect, whole, and complete in God's image and likeness, but we're blocked. And barrenness is just a block. We were designed to have babies. So barrenness is something's in the way that's preventing pregnancy. And, you know, you and I and other practitioners help women release those blocks all the time. But what a great analogy of barrenness as in being blocked in an area that God designed us to be abundant and thrive, releasing that block so that we can be fertile and thriving. I love it.
Well, and I think so many of us see ourselves in where we are or where we were. And, you know, a big part of what helped me get to where I am today is understanding that where I wasn't where I was going to be, you know, and being really sick wasn't my whole life. I wasn't going to just get sicker and sicker until I died. I was actually going to change. It was going to be well. I was born to prosper and born to heal, and that my body was created to heal. And I just needed to let it heal and work on removing those blocks, like you said.
Yeah, I love it.
So Akarah Life Practice. I'm working on getting my webpage going. So I don't have that yet. If you email me at akarahlp@gmail.com, I can get emails, or you can also, if you go on my social media page, if you check me out, I do have my phone number there. So I take calls and texts as well.
Okay. And you work live and remote or just remote?
I work live and remote.
Okay, great. Very cool. Well, thanks. I appreciate
Thanks for having me, Robin. It was good to see your beautiful face.
You too. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. I'm so blessed by you.
All right. Blessings, guys. Love your family too. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.